That's a good ball for Peter Weir. Now Aberdeen with McGee making the break and Hewitt waiting in the middle. Hewitt!
Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you and supported by Saltire Energy, the global market leader in specialist drilling equipment rental, and also by Craig International. And at the end of next month, if you're in Abu Dhabi, why don't you go along and meet Joe McDonald, Joint Managing Director of the company, who will be at the world's largest energy event. My high recommendation to you is, if you're there, go and say hello. It's the game of the weekend in the UK tomorrow as Aberdeen travel to Glasgow to take on the champions Celtic at Celtic Park. We're level pegging. We're up there with them and we have nothing to fear from going there. Kickoff in Glasgow is at 3 o'clock. And this is why. We have nothing to fear. It's 7 from 7. 21 points each. They're ahead of us only on goal difference. We continue our unbeaten streak from the very beginning of the season. Can we continue it tomorrow at Celtic Park? I say, why the hell not? Hi everybody, how you doing? A very warm welcome this Friday night to Ali Beg AB TV here on YouTube. Oh, and it's good to be back after the international break. And what a game to come back to. Oh my giddy aunt. I have to be honest, I have never felt so confident about us going into a game at Celtic Park like I have now for quite a while. I've got some match stats for you a little bit later to just show you how daunting the task is. But let me tell you, we have absolutely nothing to fear going into this game tomorrow. And if we get it right, I don't see why we can't come away with a sensational victory and keep this winning run and winning streak going and really make everybody sit up and take note that we are the real deal. And that we don't get any more of these ridiculously disrespectful questions about, oh, you've had an easy run in so far. Let's see your first test. Oh, really? Oh, really? I really hope we ram those words down the necks of those who continue to think that we've had an easy ride so far. Because we haven't. We are there at the top of the table, level pegging on merit. Please, don't forget that. This is the preview show. This is Countdown to Kickoff, looking ahead to tomorrow's game at Celtic Park. So, what do we do if you're a first-time watcher? Be predicting the team news. A couple of quotes from the manager, Jimmy Thelin. We'll be looking at the match stats. And also, thanks to the guys at Total Football Analysis, who have broken down where they think Aberdeen can beat Celtic and where they think the game could be won in terms of us. I've got something to show you a little bit later, which I really hope you will enjoy. It's a little bit more sort of insightful football analysis. So I've been reading up on what these guys have been saying. It's really, really interesting. So that's all coming up a little bit later. But the main crux of the show is obviously about you guys. So come on. Leave your opinions, leave us your thoughts, tell us how you're feeling ahead of tomorrow's game, tell us if you're going or not, and as always, leave your comments respectfully, don't use bad language, and if you're going to interact with each other, of course, be friendly, be nice. That's all I ask. Hey, Dante Palvaro's back in training, did you see that today? That's a big bonus. Not going to make the squad, obviously, but that is a huge bonus to get Dante back. Full training. Right, I'm going to predict the team news. Oh my. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. So, usual, between the sticks, Dimitar. 4 at the back, I'm going to stick with Jack, Gavin, Ruby, and Nicky, who was absolutely sensational for Scotland the other night, wasn't he? Then I'm going to go with the two just in front. So the captain and Nielsen. Now, this is where I've kind of started messing around a wee bit. I think what will happen is Toppy will play on the right. I think Ante has got to play ahead of Leighton, and Jamie's got to play purely for his experience. And then I think Kevin will be the lone striker up front. So that's what I think roughly the team will be tomorrow. So what I've done is I've basically stuck Ante in that Leighton Clarkson number 10 role, because I think that role tomorrow will be absolutely pivotal for us. And I mean this with the greatest respect to Leighton, as technically gifted as he is. I think we need someone with a little bit more physical presence, because obviously Celtic are physical. That's the only reason. So, plus also, you know, I just think he's too good to leave out. And he can change the game like this. And I just think we need him. We absolutely need him. So I'm kind of hoping Ante will start tomorrow. Tell me what you think the team will be, because I'd be very, very intrigued to hear your thoughts. Right, just let me start deleting the stuff that I've got on the timeline to make space for all the other bits and pieces that are going in the show tonight. So we've done that. Right, there's Jimmy. So I need to get Jimmy's thoughts in. I don't know if you saw Jimmy's press conference today. Really, really interesting. Again, doesn't bite. Doesn't give headlines, remains calm. What I loved about some of his answers, don't care about what other people think. It's all about what we do. It's all about us. I loved that about him. Wasn't going to get sucked in any way, shape or form. Right, I definitely want to get that in. There it is. Because what I'm about to show you could be pivotal to us potentially winning the game tomorrow. Match stats, right, where are you? There you are. And then we have one last item to chuck in. And then the timeline is set. And we are good to go. First of all, get the bins on. Jimmy. So I picked out a quote for you. We have to give everything. Everybody has to come out as the best that they can. But also that we can show our fans that we believe in what we are doing and stay strong in that. Then give everything we have. That is the idea we have. We have a clear game plan. He went on to say, we know what Celtic are good at and also try to find some weakness and attack them there. But also how we need to defend. I think one of the main things tomorrow is how good we are ourselves with the ball. That's going to be hugely important tomorrow, because ball retention is going to play a massive part. And it's like what we said couple of weeks ago before the international break. That area between what is effectively our 18-yard box and the halfway line is going to be a crucial area tomorrow, because those are our avenues out. And we know that Celtic play the high press and that they're going to put us directly under pressure if we start trying to play it out this way. So I may be preaching to the converted here, but for me, it may sound so obvious, but we have to try and play through their press or round it. And I'll come on to what these total football analysis guys were saying will be key tomorrow. So let's do that now. So I'm going to break it down for you. So basically what they were talking about is how effective Aberdeen are when it comes to crossing the ball. So at the moment, we sit 10th in the most crosses list so far this season. Only 10th. But more than half of our goals in the league have come from direct or indirect crosses into the box. And what these guys are suggesting is that we need to utilise 4 key components during the game. One of them is getting our players into crossing positions, be it 1-on-1 or be it 2-on-1, like Jack and Nicky basically overlapping and supporting Jamie and Toppy or whoever else plays. They also said the crossing zones, so where we actually cross the balls from. So what I've done is, thanks to these guys at the Total Football Analysis, this is a graphic which shows you this season where Aberdeen have been most effective when it comes to getting the ball into the box. And as you can see, 37.5% on the right-hand side, and that's, 32 on the other side. So this is where it's going to be absolutely critical to where we get our players into position to be able to get the balls into the box. And what's also interesting is that the majority of our goals, how we've basically been effective, is the type of delivery. And again, the Total Football Analysis guys broke it down and they said that we are most effective when we are cutting the ball back. That most of our goals have come when we've cut the ball back. Yeah. And then obviously the fourth component, which is the obvious one, is that we have to convert our chances. So where we have to be careful tomorrow is obviously if we do start to attack down their flanks and Nicky and Jack go up in support, that is going to leave big gaps at the back. And it's going to leave, if Ruby and Gavin play together, that's going to leave big gaps at the back. And we know how quickly they can get the ball forward. So it's going to be absolutely critical that sort of Graham Shinney, Nielsen area, their roles are going to have to sit in and obviously fill in for players that are going to attack. So it's going to be absolutely vital when we don't have the ball that potentially we go to a 4-4-2 formation or whatever, so that we drop back in support of the defence. So it's massive, it's huge, and I can't wait. And I can't wait to see how we approach the game. And as I said, if we show the heart, the desire, the willingness that we have in games this season to go the full 90 minutes, then into injury time, to keep at them all the time, to keep playing the ball forward, to try and win a game of football, I just don't see why we can't get the win tomorrow. I'm feeling so optimistic about it. I really am. And it's just a great feeling. It's just a brilliant feeling to be an Aberdeen fan at the moment. I'm sure you'll agree. Oh, can't even wait. Match stats. Let's give you the match stats. They don't make for very good reading. So Celtic are unbeaten in 25 meetings with Aberdeen in all competitions. Yeah. Oh. Our last win there was 2018. Aberdeen have lost each of their last 8 league visits to Celtic Park by an aggregate score of 23-2. Yeah. The last side to win their first 8 league matches of a Scottish top flight campaign was us. Celtic last achieved that back in 2010-11. Man in the middle tomorrow is Nick Walsh, and the man tasked with VAR is Greg Aiken. Right, enough waffle from me. Let's get you guys on. Let's see how we're all doing. Good evening to each and every one of you. Grey Pilgrim says, good evening, dandies. The win streak will continue tomorrow. Who are these hoops anyway? Richard McMillan comes on and says, come on, Aberdeen, let's do this. Glad to see you back, Ali. He's reminding everybody, if you're enjoying the show so far, to press the old like button for me. It just helps with the old YouTube algorithm. Scott W is on. Hi, Scott. He said Celtic should be winning this game tomorrow, so no pressure on the Dons. Fraser Gunn says, greetings all, not getting carried away, but do think we can go and lay a glove and see how we go. I'm looking forward to getting through there and will back the lads. Great to see Dante training again. Do you know what? Fraser makes the quote, lay a glove. As Aberdeen fans, that's all we can ask for, is that we lay a glove on them. Just show them that they're in a game. Give them a game. Because over the past few years, take away the semi-final last year, we've been so guilty of just not laying a glove on them and just whimpering our way through a game. And it's infuriating. And we've got a huge travelling support going down. And they deserve to see a laying of a glove. So let's do it. Fraser Gunn came back to say it will be interesting to see the team selection tomorrow, as Jimmy has several options depending on how he wants to line up. I hope Keskinen can be allowed to use his pace, as that pitch will suit him. Gordon Keith Ritchie said, oh my lord. Gordon Keith, he didn't say oh my lord. He said, good, it's all a game we're all looking forward to. We have to go in with no fear and we have to have a go, and what will be, will be. Luminous Reality says, good evening, Ali and fellow dandies. A performance similar to what Scotland had against Portugal would be good. Palaversa must start. Donald Cushney says, biggest game so far, Brendan Rodgers will raise their game. Suze is on, saying good evening, hope everyone is well. She can't wait for the game tomorrow. Gavin Wilson, I don't know why YouTube is censoring you. Sorry about that, mate. Just keep trying. Right. Oh, there's so many of you on tonight. It's so good to see. Thank you as always. Musical Box is on, saying hello, everybody, as is Andy Wright. He's hoping everyone is excited for tomorrow. Win, lose or draw tomorrow. Isn't this fun? Graham Barron says, evening Ali and fellow dandies. Everyone is writing us off on this game. Let's prove them wrong and put in a proper fight, unlike every time we play there. Nothing to fear. Heed first. Simon Roy's on, wishing everyone a good evening. Musical Box says, we need to hit them hard, and if we only play well in one half, it needs to be the second half. Paul Herd is on, saying, right, note to self, time to stop worrying about what might happen and start getting excited about what could happen. Exactly. Positive mental attitude. Andy Wright says the uproar will be epic. Lorraine Baxter's on. Hi, Lorraine. She's wishing everyone a good evening. Simon Roy says, hoping Palaversa will start, but do we drop Shinnie? Also think Duke and Nesbitt must start. Nesbitt must start. Nesbitt. John Grant says, good evening, dandies. What a dilemma for picking the team now for Jimmy. The weakness in this Celtic team is the defence. They are there for the taking. So for me, we need Toppy and Duke running at them. I did think about Duke. I did think about him. But I think Duke is better on the flank, not through the middle, sort of as a centre forward. So who would you put out? Would you put Toppy out? Would you put Jamie out? Alexander Wallace says, good evening all. Isn't it just great that all your Celtic supporter pals are more worried about tomorrow than we are? Paul Donaldson is on, wishing everyone a good evening. Would like to see Palaversa start, but it's a huge question about who would have to be dropped and would it mean a change in formation. Kaiser says, quite simply, come on you Reds. Paul Ricci says, for once, I'm buzzing for the game. Musical Box said, we've got nothing to lose. One of his best friends, who's a Celtic supporter, reckons we could beat them. David Horn is on, wishing everyone a good evening. Elfie Dello says, good evening, Ali and fellow dandies. Don't sit back. Play like we've been, and we can get a positive result. Kaiser says, let's get right in about this lot tomorrow. Jerry Kennedy says, into them, heed first. Andy Wright also says, heed first, but don't get sent off. Martin Smith says, think we need Palaversa in for Clarkson in the centre of midfield and Sokler up front. Rest of the team picks itself. Barry Cool is here. How are we doing, Barry? He says, hello, fellow dandies. I am in... Where are you? Icemuller. On a wee holiday. Where the hell is that? Sounds nice. Everyone else is asking, Barry, so you'll need to tell us. Neil Simpson is on. I don't think it's that Neil Simpson. Good evening, dandies. I see it like this. We have a winning mentality. The players are quality. Let's show Scottish football and Glasgow Celtic. We will be there at the end of the season in Jimmy Thelin, I believe. He's in Turkey. Barry Cole's in Turkey. Have a great time, Barry. Erica Mitchell is on, wishing everyone a good evening. Let's get stuck into Celtic tomorrow. I would take a draw, but I'd rather us beat them for a change. Kaiser said, Nisbet, not for me. We need a striker that can harry and chase Sokler or even Duke up front for me. Neil Simpson is asking, do I think we should start Duke or bring him on when legs get tired? I think we should bring him on as an impact player. Because, as we spoke about earlier in that sort of analytical part, if we can get down these flanks as often as we can without going too gung-ho and without overexposing ourselves, let them know we're in a game. Let them know that they're in a game. And then bring Duke on and get running at them. And I mean running at them, like he did against Hearts when he came on. His immediate opponent didn't have a clue what to do. Not a Scooby-Doo. We need Duke doing that tomorrow. Derek Griffith says, good evening, Ali and Dandies. What a game tomorrow. Get into them right from the start. And please don't concede an early goal. The longer it stays goalless, the better chance we'll have. Andy Wright suggests an early goal from us will have them absolutely panicking. Talok McAllen, good evening. He says, good point. Need to pick up runners, close down and spring on them to have a chance. They will probably have a lot of the midfield unless we flood the midfield. Closing down is key for any chance. Good point, mate. Graham Barron says, Jimmy knows how to play these type of games. When he was at Elfsborg and when they played Malmo, Malmo had 80% and Elfsborg 20% and still got a positive result. I'm excited to see how this game goes. Lachlan Murison Animations, good evening, how you doing? He says, I think we will be very strong in defence, but I think it will be 2-2 because we are pretty much really even. Graham Gibbs says, hey guys, how good is this? Joint top and now Celtic, Dundee United, Rangers in a semi-final. Dreamland. Greg Pilgrim says, definitely a game where we need the subs bench to be strong. We're going to have to run hard all afternoon. A lot of you are absolutely saying that we need Antti Palaversa to start tomorrow. It's nearly all of you are saying that. Again, a lot of you are suggesting that Esther should start tomorrow just purely because of the amount of work that he does. Rob Clark is here. How you doing, Rob? He says, I hope everyone is well. Sorry I missed the start of the show. Before I pass comment about tomorrow, any update on the online award? So I was basically nominated for a football content award, Best International Podcast YouTube channel. The voting has closed. The voting closed last Sunday. I have no idea when the votes will be cast. The ceremony is at White Hart Lane in London on the 21st of November. So many, many thanks to all of you who voted. I know that hundreds of you voted for me. So thank you so much. And 50% of it is public vote and 50% of it is by the panel of esteemed judges. So look, let's see what happens. Yeah, there's a lot of you saying that Esther should start tomorrow. Neil Strachan says, I think Aberdeen will beat Celtic tomorrow. I think the score will be 3-0 to us. The scorers will be Sokler, Nisbet and Keskinen. I love that. Gavin you see, this is what we've been talking about, Gavin. I'm concerned that Celtic's attack speed if Devlin and McKenzie have pushed up. I worry Malloy and Ruby will be in for a tough time. Neil Simpson said, no one heard of Sir Alex when he became manager. This could be the next coming under Jimmy Thelin. Outstanding manager in Sweden. Records are to be broken. Stand free. Sorry guys, just going through the comments, just having a wee look. Lots and lots of you, wow. Thank you for watching tonight, it's brilliant. Delighted to see so many of you on. Musical Box said, Celtic will expect to win at Parkhead, but if we hit them hard, they might start to panic. I'm really intrigued to know what strip we'll wear tomorrow. Could we wear the yellow and black strip? Oh, put the fear of God in them, even before the game kicks off. It's all about psychological advantages. Talking about psychological advantages. So, I love all the psychological side to the game and how managers try and get one over on each other. You know, obviously Sir Alex was the master at it. But not last weekend, the weekend before, when we beat Hearts, I took my boys to the Etihad Stadium. They were desperate to watch a Manchester City game. So I took them for the weekend. And we did the stadium tour on the Friday. And what I found fascinating was that they gave us some insights into the psychological thinking of Pep Guardiola. I'm just going to give you some examples. He does not want the away team bus arriving at the main entrance to the Etihad. So the Manchester City players get off and they go into the main entrance and then they go through the 5-star restaurants where they meet all the VIPs on their way down to the dressing room. So immediately they get a feel for the atmosphere. Pep wanted the away team bus to go through what is in effect the service area. When they get off the bus, it's a 4-minute walk to their changing room. And they have to walk past the kitchens. So they get the smell of the food. Now, yes, they might have had a pre-match meal somewhere else, but the smell of like Michelin star food, you will know, is rather delicious. So immediately it makes them think about other things. In the dressing room is square, small, and they got colour specialists in to dampen the mood. So the away team dressing room at the Etihad is basically grey, which is one of the worst mood colours that you can have. I think it's genius. If you've watched Champions League coverage or any game at the Etihad, when you see Manchester City coming out of the dressing room, there's like a holding area. Pep asked for the referee's dressing room to be located behind this holding area. So what happens is, when the referee comes out, he goes straight into this holding area where the Manchester City players will probably already be congregated. So when the away team comes out, which is on the other side, down a small corridor, and once they actually open up into this holding area, the first thing they will see is the referee in conversation with their immediate opponents. I think it's genius. We've got to start thinking about stuff like this. Because the psychological battle tomorrow is half the battle. Do you get me? Or am I talking nonsense? John Grant says, we need to be smarter in the last third of the pitch. I agree that the crossing has to be better, but for me, our best two players for getting past opponents and crossing are Duke and Morris. Neom709 says, looking forward to tomorrow. Long day trip, but can't wait. Early start. To all of you who are travelling to Celtic Park tomorrow, have a safe trip. Have a fantastic trip. Andy Wright says, when was it the last time that we had so many options for the start of a game? It's just fantastic. Kaiser says, Big Ruby and Malloy need to keep the head tomorrow. No rash challenges. A lot of you, again, talking about the importance of shoring up the midfield tomorrow. I love how a lot of you are singing tonight. Sparts said, Celtic will come flying out of the traps. We have to be ready. They'll want the game killed by half-time. Good point. They will. You're absolutely right, mate. Jerry Kennedy says, Duke running at their defence will scare the bejesus out of them. Let me put it that way. Kaiser says, we can do so much damage to Celtic's defence. Chilling says 100%. It's all mind games. Kaiser says, we all know about the referees in Scotland, Ali. The majority of them travel on the Sevco bus. Musical Box says, psychology is important in all things. Scottish Football Talk says, Sokla needs to start and get Duke on in the 60th minute to get speed and pass in the team. That's what will win us the game. Talok McMallen came back to say, we need the defence to be on it, then it's game on. Neom709 is asking when I'm going to get back over the road. Boah, mate, I don't know. I'm desperate to get over. The boys and I have been discussing it about when we can take in a game. We're hoping before Christmas, but if we don't do it before Christmas, we will definitely look to do it early in the new year because I'm just desperate. I'm just desperate to get over. The trip to the Etihad was a special treat. I've been promising the boys to do that for months and months and months. But funnily enough, when we were on the plane coming back, you know, first thing that Lennox said to me, when are we going next to watch Aberdeen? So yeah, we'll get home soon. We'll get home soon. Right, guys, I'm going to call it a night because we have done just over half an hour. So thank you so much for coming on. It's absolutely brilliant having you, so many of you on tonight. Thank you for your continued support as always. So all that's left to say, as we always do on a Friday night, is lads, lads, nothing to fear. Look where you are. Look what you've achieved. And don't tell me you've achieved nothing, because you have. You've achieved everything as far as we're concerned. And tomorrow, you can go that step further. You can go clear at the top of the table. You can set records. Don't be scared. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't let them get in your head. You get in their heads. Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'll see you Sunday. Let's do the review. Oh no, I can't do it on Sunday because I've got the kids. Monday. Let's do the review show on Monday. So we'll come back at 7 o'clock. We'll let the dust settle no matter what happens, and we'll come back and we'll do a really good review show on Monday night. So, folks, have a fantastic weekend. Take really good care of yourselves. Stand free. And don't forget, as I wish you a fond farewell, don't forget,